Castro. Instead, he told them to go warm up. So they'll have no idea of the task they are to complete in this event until that information is relayed to them by the judges. But there are a number of athletes who don't speak English, so their judge will be fluent in their native language to ensure a level playing field.
Thank you, Mike. The race to be crowned the fittest woman on earth is being won by that woman, Australia's Tia Toomey, who is looking to win the CrossFit Games for the second straight year.
So far, halfway through competition, she is just being constantly dominant. I expect no different here, even though she doesn't know what to expect. And rookie Laura Horvath has just impressed so much with her confidence. Let's see what she can do with the unknown.
They will start on the skier. Now, they do not know how many calories they need to complete, but that number is 30. Their judges are telling them, work until I tell you to stop, and then they will advance on to the next movement, and they will find out what that is when they get there.
The skier is an apparatus they're all used to using. It's familiar in CrossFit Games history, so no surprise with this particular apparatus. But when you don't know how many calories you're pulling for, it's really difficult to know how hard you should pull to not get blown up and gassed out. My guess is not knowing these ladies should go about 80-85% of their max. Sustain that as long as possible, and if their judge doesn't say anything, maybe back off just a bit.
Annie Thorisdottir is the right side of your screen, now in the middle. She's third overall, and she is one of two women to win 2 CrossFit Games championships. She did that in 2011 and 2012, and she is trying to work her way steadily up the standings as she's looking to overtake Laura Horvath, the rookie, for second place overall. Why have we included something like this in this test of fitness?
Because it is a perfect test to represent what we're all about in CrossFit. We train to be good at life. We train so that when surprises and emergencies come up, we're ready for them. We don't just want to be good because we practice specific things. We want to be good when anything arises and use our fitness.
Annie Thorisdottir was the first to advance. And now she will start on burpees. They have to touch that red strap with every repetition. They do not know how many reps they need to complete, but it is 25.
I expect to see a little chaos as they move from one movement to the next. Expect to see a lot of heads pop up as soon as another athlete is moving, so that you can get that edge of, if I know I'm a few reps behind, I'm going to go faster so that I can get to that next movement and look at what they're doing, so I don't have to wait for my judge to spell it all out for me.
With so much unknown here, what are the keys of this event?
Really, you have to be aware. You have to know a lot. Lots going on, and you have to be aware of it. You have to be aware of your judge. What are they telling you? Look at the other athletes on the field. Are they moving ahead of you, and what are they doing when they get there? You also have to be aware of your body and how you're feeling for that speed.
Katrin Davidsdottir is through 19. She is in the green top, army green top. Annie Thorisdottir is next to her. Laura Horvath has led for a lot of this competition, but has since fallen back in the last 2 events and now sits in second place overall. Katrin Davidsdottir is the first woman done with the burpees, and now dumbbell overhead squats as Annie Thorisdottir joins her.
When it comes to typical events where you do one movement and move on, we call them chippers. If this is the style of this event, Annie Thorisdottir, Katrin Davidsdottir are among the best. So while they're the leaders, I do expect them to push each other in this. And the good news for them is they can also handle the volume and handle a lot of movements.
They need to complete 40 repetitions at this station. Tia Toomey, the overall leader, just got to that movement, which is good news for Annie Thorisdottir and Laura Horvath as they look to gain points on her in the overall standings. The better you do in an event, the more points you earn. The winner of the event gets 100, and then we work our way down after that. Katrin Davidsdottir is through 33 of those 40 reps. She is on the left hand of your screen. She is the other woman who has won 2 CrossFit Games championships, also from Iceland. She won back-to-back titles in 2015 and 2016, and she is first done and now moves on to one-legged squats. Again, she does not know how many repetitions she needs to complete, but That number is 45, and she is about at the halfway point of this event.
So 45 single leg squats or pistols. Here's the thing. Katrin Davidsdottir is leading this right now. Of the field, she lets everybody know she loves to work, and this is a great example of who likes to put in the work in their training sessions.
Annie Thorisdottir is right next to Katrin Davidsdottir, and Kristin Holte out of Norway. Her father was actually a cross-country skier for Norway in the 1984 Winter Olympics. Katrin Davidsdottir comes into this event in 5th place overall. A strong finish here in this event could move her into the top 4. Tia Toomey, the overall leader, wearing that white jersey, looking to win her 2nd straight CrossFit Games championship. She also represented Australia at the 2016 Rio Summer Olympics in weightlifting, and that is where the standings are after 8 events.
For Katrin Davidsdottir, this event could be so important because she is 22 points out of even podium position, and everyone that she needs the points from are right around her. So if she can stay ahead of them, it's not like she has to guess where they are. They're right next to her.
Katrin Davidsdottir, the first woman on to the box jump overs. They are telling them how many repetitions they have to do here. It's 25. The reason for that is, director of the CrossFit Games said, I want to tell the athletes, so if they want to turn on the gas, they can right here. So Katrin Davidsdottir knows that she has 25 box jump overs to complete. That is a 36-inch box. She is through 6 of those 25 repetitions, and now Kristin Holte in the pink top is on the box jump overs as well.
Kristin Holte got a no rep there because her hands touch the box. On a box jump over or any box jump, you have to just have your feet touch the box. It's important to note all of these movements are movements that these athletes do all of the time. So they're very common, well-known movements. They're no surprise or twist to the movements. It's just about how fast they can perform a lot of them without knowing those reps.
Tia Toomey onto the box jump overs as well. Katrin Davidsdottir is through 14. Kristin Holte is now through 9. She's in 2nd. Holte on the right side of your screen. 8th overall with 450 points. This is the 3rd day of competition for the women. They have one more day tomorrow, and they have 4 total events today. They've already gone through 1. This is the 2nd.
They're making these box jump overs look easy, but there's a lot of explosive power needed for that high of a box. So their legs are going to be taxed coming off of these boxes. The judge's hand is in the air. That means Katrin Davidsdottir only has 5 reps to go.
Davidsdottir's through 24. This will be her final box jump, and now it is on to the implement known as the slug. Her judge telling her, you got to pull that thing to the finish line. It weighs 300 pounds.
It's a new apparatus to the CrossFit Games, but it's very similar to a sled drag. The only issue is it's filled with sand. So as that sand rolls over, it could cause issues, but not for Katrin Davidsdottir. She's shortened those straps up and is keeping great tension. As long as she keeps those feet moving, she's looking great.
Kristin Holte is now strapping into the sled. Katrin Davidsdottir looking for her 2nd event win of these 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games, and now Tia Toomey is the 3rd woman into the sled, and she is ahead of the 2 women right behind her in the overall standings. That slug weighs 300 pounds, and these women are having little trouble with it. Katrin Davidsdottir has to get that thing entirely into the blue paint. She says she's a sled dog, and she proves it here. Davidsdottir wins chaos.
She loves to work, and she got to do it and showed us how good she is.
Kristin Holte trying to finish 2nd now. She just has to get herself into the blue paint, and then she will be able to cross the finish line.
Little different technique than Katrin was using. Kristin Holte just left those straps on her shoulders. It worked for her.
Holte will take 2nd. Tia Toomey will come in ahead of the women chasing her in the overall standings in 2nd and in 3rd, and that is good news for her as she looks to extend her lead and tighten her grip on the top spot of the overall leaderboard. Brooke Wells is towards the top of your screen. She's closest to the finish line. And Brooke Wells is in. Amanda Barnhart, Carrie Pierce have just come across, and now rookie Laura Horvath is in, and she gets in ahead of Annie Thorisdottir, which means that Horvath should hang on to second place overall here.
There was just so much work done in this event. Their legs are tired. They're breathing hard. So pulling this weight, pulling this slug is a lot of work. Katrin Davidsdottir, the early women, made it look easy, but look at Annie Thorisdottir. She is still dragging this thing.
Annie Thorisdottir was in third place coming into this event. Cara Saunders, the woman in fourth, has already finished. Annie Thorisdottir needs to do damage control so she doesn't drop out of the top four. It does look like Saunders will leapfrog her for third place overall. Thorisdottir is in, and she will take 21st as Sarah Sigmundsdottir, another Icelandic athlete, just beats her across the finish line by 0.2 of a second. And now everybody coming to the close here in a chaotic finish to chaos. Margot Alvarez is in, now China Cho coming across. 37-year-old Becca Voigt finishes up.
These ladies have to dig in. Look at the way they keep their body hunched over and just keep the momentum. They have to keep moving because once that thing stops, it's hard to get started again.
Annie Thorisdottir had a great start and tailed off there towards the end. She and Katrin Davidsdottir talking with one another. Annie Thorisdottir's back-to-back titles in 2011 and 2012 inspired Katrin Davidsdottir to pick up the sport. And now the two of them are the only two-time champions that we've seen at the CrossFit Games as Lauren Fisher is in. You wonder, had these athletes known what they were facing when they come out, how that changes the opponent if they do go this hard.
When you are a competitor like Annie Thorisdottir is laying there on the floor, she wanted to go fast. She saw Katrin Davidsdottir was ahead of her. As a competitor, how do you hold back? You can't hold back from that. You want to take these points. You want the event. I think she just pushed so hard to keep with Katrin's pace, and that's what kind of caught up to her there at the end.
15 seconds to go before we hit the 12-minute time cap as Annie Thorisdottir finished 21st in the event. That is Brenda Castro, who is the first woman from Mexico to represent her country here as an individual at the CrossFit Games, and she will finish inside that 12-minute time cap. Event number 9 is in the books. Katrin Davidsdottir wins, but Tia Toomey continues to tighten her grip on the top spot on the overall leaderboard. Katrin Davidsdottir, though, making a charge here as she is getting stronger as this competition goes on.
She just showed us that it doesn't matter. We need to have skills in all events. We need to have, even in that mental capacity, show us what you got. Annie Thorisdottir led early on, but as soon as Katrin caught up to her, Katrin took off after that and said, this is going to be my event here. They were neck and neck with these overhead squats with that dumbbell, but Katrin really ran away once it was the pistols and the box jump overs. She really showed no signs of fatigue, which was really impressive. After the pistols, after the squats, legs still looked strong, and then once she got moving on that slug, it never stopped, it didn't slow down.
Katrin Davidsdottir, like we said, has compared herself to a sled dog, and she looked like it there as she picks up her second win of the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games, and she is with Mike Arsenault.
Place coming into this event. Looks like that performance will put you a lot closer to a podium spot. You take a very measured, analytical approach to competition. So how do you prepare for an event when you know nothing about it coming in?
Honestly, it's a little bit scary because I do go in with strategies and try and be smart, and that's to get to the best time. But this, we had no clue. We didn't know how many exercises or how long it would be in total. So I went out hard, but I tried to go just below that threshold. So I knew that I could stay in it forever. So if I accidentally feel like I'm going out too hot, I can just bring it back. But every time I'd reach that point, he'd go, and move. I thought, yes. and reach that point and move. And then once we got to the box over, you can see that's the last thing. And I love anything that's just like work and just drag a sled. So that was awesome.
That strategy paid off for you here in this event. You're a two-time champion of the CrossFit Games. What advantage does being a veteran give you throughout a competition week?
I think it definitely just helps you stay calm and know that this is a 5-day event. It's not, you take one event at a time. You get every single point that you can get out of that event and know that it takes 5 days for this to all settle out. So it really just keeps you calm and makes sure that you're enjoying the moment and hope that all plays out well.
Thanks, Katrin. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Katrin Davidsdottir flies high as she takes event number 9 and moves herself into 3rd place overall. The women are done. The men coming up next.